Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hope you're all doing great. As I am recording this episode, it is Christmas Eve, but as you are listening, it'll be out by Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas. I hope you're all enjoying it. Hope you've had a wonderful holiday so far. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, well, I hope you are enjoying whatever you're celebrating. Let's talk Knicks. We're here to talk Knicks, episode 454. I'm your host, RJ. You are listening to or watching BD4. Let's get to it. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya! Anthony for three, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied! Time! Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win! All right, let's do it. Episode 454. Let's talk some New York Knicks. Welcome to the show. Episode 454 of the podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. We did miss the Toronto Raptors game. That was one of the rare games that we've missed this year. I think we've covered all but 5. So that's you know, it's gonna happen, all right. I'm a one-man show here. But yeah, Merry Christmas. As you are listening to the show, it is officially Christmas Day. As I'm recording, it's the night of Christmas Eve. Company left. We're good. It's quiet here now, waiting for Santa Claus to arrive. But we're going to talk about the Knicks because they played on Christmas Eve, I believe. Yeah. And, you know, it was a Christmas gift for the Chicago Bulls, I think is the best way to put it. I mean, the Knicks completely blow it at the Garden. The game was very competitive, and it had a good energy throughout. It felt like the Knicks had the momentum, the majority of the way. But, early on, sloppiness on both ends of the floor. For the Knicks, it was turnovers and missed free throws in the first quarter, which we'll talk about the free throw shooting. But you had Zach LaVine running amok, just running wild, picking the Knicks apart early on. DeRozan, Vucevic, even Goran Dragic start chipping in the first half with contributions. Goran Dragic, I had no idea he was still in the league. The Bulls go up 6 or 7 points early second quarter. They get that big alley-oop. Kind of silence Madison Square Garden for a few minutes, but not long after that, the Knicks fight from behind and they pull into the lead. You got Quickley getting very hot in the second quarter. RJ Barrett ends up scoring 26 points in the first half. The Sims and Hartenstein pairing is looking pretty quality again. And the game was really tight. It was really tight the rest of the way. But the Knicks, again, mainly held the lead. They had the momentum. It felt like they were going to win the game. I mean, the offense, they were in control. The offense was very good. I liked the offense. I thought there were some good contributions all around offensively. RJ Barrett, we'll talk about him. Obviously, one of the better career games for him. Randle had a very strong offensive game. Quickley coming off the bench because you had Grimes back in the starting lineup. The Knicks only had 10 total turnovers, 4 of them outside of RJ Barrett. They shot 50% as a unit, 46% on the three-point line. The ball was moving well. The Knicks were working the glass. They had plenty of second opportunities again on the offensive window, thanks to Sims, Randle, Mitch, Hartenstein working the O-glass. So I like what they were doing on offense. I like the offense. That was not the problem. One of the problems was defense. Sure, definitely. It was not great. But mainly, it was the obvious foul shooting that lost the Knicks this game. Just horrendous. I mean, the Knicks shoot overall 15 of 26, which is barely 58%. So that's 11 entire points left off the scoreboard on the Knicks end. The free throw shooting was abysmal. And obviously, down the stretch, you had both Quentin Grimes and Jalen Brunson 1,000% blowing this thing as best as they possibly could, missing each of their 2 free throws in the final minute. With 1:06 left in the game, the Knicks are up 3 points. Quentin Grimes gets to the line. He misses both. And then the Bulls pull it to within 1. With 6.4 seconds left in the game, the Knicks are up 1 point. Brunson demands the ball, gets the ball, gets to the line, and he misses both. And then the Bulls, on their following possession, give it to DeRozan for the final shot. RJ and Grimes both switch on the ball screen. Grimes gets DeRozan, and he's up in his grill. He's on him as best as he could. He was really playing good defense. But DeRozan goes right into his home in that 20 feet in an area. He's a mid-range king. And he sinks the game winner, and he draws the soft foul for insult. I don't know if it was a foul, but he drew the foul, and the Bulls eventually won. But you just have to make those. You can't miss them. There's no excuse. You have to make those free throws. You got to knock those down, especially if you're Jalen Brunson, man. That's just unacceptable. It's repulsive. And that, not to just pin it on those two guys. I mean, that wasn't the only fourth quarter choke job from the free throw line last night. Randle also missed a big free throw. There was about 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. The Knicks are up 2. Randle goes 1 of 2. RJ Barrett, 2:54 left in the game. The Knicks are up 1 point. He goes 1 of 2 to put the Knicks just up 2 points. But then the Bulls later tie it when Levine gets to the line, and he, of course, knocks down both. So just like that, simple thing like free throw shooting kills the good vibes. The good vibes, and man, I hate that word, but it's the only thing I can think of right now, are just right down the drain. You had 8 in a row. You had a much easier schedule all week, but you could only take care of one of those 3 games, and that was Golden State. You blew it versus the struggling Raptors, who had come into the game losing 6 in a row, I believe, and you blew it last night versus a terrible Bulls team. And we hate the Bulls. We always want to beat the Bulls. And we did twice in a row last week. It's hard to sweep 3, but the way they lost it was just very infuriating. Excuse me. And it could very well, if they're not careful, it could very well spiral. It could be 3 losses in a row unless they find a way to save Christmas and defeat the 76ers tomorrow afternoon, right? Which I'm very hyped for. I love, there's nothing more, there are very few things in sports that I enjoy more than Christmas Day basketball. I love hoops on Christmas Day. I remember just watching Carmelo Anthony and the Knicks play on Christmas Day all the time. I used to get nervous for it. I was so into it. So I'm excited for that. Tomorrow's going to be a wonderful day. I'm blessed to just be able to witness that. So I love Christmas Day basketball. We'll see if I'm still saying the same thing, depending on what the Knicks do. But if there's one thing I can say about these couple of losses we've had, it is a good thing that we're getting angry at losses again, right? It just means that we expect this team to win to a certain degree, right? I just hope that we don't go crashing back down to 500, below 500 again, though. You know, we'll see, because that could very, very, very well happen. Honestly, might. I had such a good feeling during that 8-game win streak, and all streaks come to an end. You know, if we're being honest here, they were never going to win 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's going to end at some point. 8 is an incredible mark that most teams don't get to in a season. So take it as it is, and hopefully we can get back on the win track tomorrow, but it's going to be tough. But yeah, you know, some thoughts on this game. I got a few things to say about Brunson's performance, some other guys, and the team as a whole defensively. We'll talk about all that. Going to head to a quick break real quick. Stay with us. Be right back. Yeah, I mean, Brunson he struggled, man. You know, he has struggled. Last night, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Shot 5 for 15, 1 of 3 from 3, and 1 of 4 at the free throw line. Yeah, it's been, you know, a bit of a slump for him the last 2 games. He's 28% over the last 2 games. Just 1 of 6 from 3 and 19 total points. The jump shot's off. Seemed like he had no legs underneath him last night. The drive wasn't there. But you do have to respect that as the leader of this team and the point guard, he's still not forcing it. Right? He's contributing in other aspects. Against Toronto the other night, 12 assists and only 14 shots. And then last night against the Bulls, 9 assists with only 15 shots. So at least he's still realizing what his job is. But I just think that maybe teams are starting to realize that he's the engine of the Knicks, and a lot of the time wherever Brunson goes, the Knicks go. So, you know, what they're doing is they're just putting their best defenders onto Brunson, right? And I do that too. If I was an opponent of the Knicks, I would play him extra physical and make the defensive point of emphasis on containing number 11. Right? That's my focus. The Bulls last night, they put a longer player on Brunson. They crowded the paint. They made it tough. But at the end of the day, man, you just can't be missing those free throws, right? You're a money guy on this team now. You got the contract. You're the guy, but you can't be missing those free throws, especially if you demand the ball there. And Brunson demanded the ball, got the ball, missed the free throws, and you just can't flop like that. And unfortunately, you know, I know that he's been, you know, very exceptional in fourth quarters for the Knicks. But there is clutch, and then there is clutch, right? Honestly, Jalen Brunson has not been that guy in the final seconds so far. I remember a few weeks back he missed a pair of big-time shots in the final seconds in back-to-back games. And so what I did after last night's free throw debacle, I wanted to see. I dug into it, and I wanted to see if it matched the eye test. And it did. Brunson is currently 5th in total clutch points, and clutch is defined as the final 5 minutes of a 5-point game or less. He's 5th. So he's a fourth quarter guy. We know that. But when it comes to the final seconds, he's not been very good. In the final 10 seconds of a 5-point game or less, Brunson is 0 for 4, and he's 3 of 6 on free throws. So I don't know if we have a designated guy. Like, I don't know that Brunson's that guy. I think with no star in this team, we maybe go with the hot hand for that night to take the final shot. You know, and last night, the hot hand was RJ Barrett, who we'll talk about in a second. And you even could have argued that Immanuel Quickley should have been on the floor and got those free throws. But he checked out for Grimes with about 7 minutes left, and he didn't see the floor again. And Quickley is their best free throw shooter. But bottom line, we need Brunson back on his game tomorrow to save Christmas, right? We're going to need him against James Harden to do his thing. That might be a tough matchup for him. Harden's big. I mean, we'll see. And then Grimes. 8 points last night for Quentin Grimes. 3 boards, 1 assist. He shot terribly. 3 of 11, 2 of 8, 0 of 2 from the free throw line. I won't get on him as much for those free throws because he's young and he's on a contract worth nothing. He did look like he was rushing it. But he's also just not that good a free throw shooter. You think with his 3-point sniping abilities that Brunson can knock him down. But he was 68% last year. He's, I think, 76 or 77% this year. And in college, he was only 70% dead even across 3 years. So he's never been that good of a free throw shooter. Again, you definitely could have made a case that Quickley should have been in there. But my big thing with Grimes, I just hope he finds some consistency soon. Because he really hasn't strung together a lot of very strong games yet, as my voice cracks. Since he started getting big minutes, which was the Phoenix Suns game back on November 20th, that was his first 30-minute game of the season, he hasn't really strung together many double-digit scoring efforts. And so I went into the numbers, and in order, he scored over 10 points in that Suns game. Then he went under 10 points for 3 consecutive games. Then he went back over 10 points for a game. Then he went back under 10 points for 3 games in a row. Then he went over 10 points for 2 games in a row. Under 10 points for a game. Over 10 2 nights in a row. Under 10 points again for a game. Over 10 points for a game. And then last night, under 10 points again. So very, very inconsistent. We just need more consistency. You know, and that might sound like I'm nitpicking here, but again, Grimes is, you know, the guy who held up the Donovan Mitchell deal. So I'm going to hold him to some expectation. It'd be nice to just get a little more consistency. But on a bright note, on a very, very bright note, RJ Barrett gets a bing bong game ball last night.
Bing bang.
He was excellent, obviously. Yeah, he was unbelievable. 44 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Excuse me. Shot 14 of 20 from the field. 6 for 6 from 3 and 10 of 13 at the free throw line. Sniping from 3. Sniping. Spot ups were excuse me. The spot ups were working all night. But yeah, is he finding that next step? The first 17 games, RJ shot below 40% in 9 of them. It's over half. He averaged 18 points on 16 shots. The last 16 games for RJ, he shot below 40% just 4 times, averaging 23 points on 17 shots. So the difference in efficiency there is monumental, but not a shock, because he's taking smarter shots, making better rim reads, and you know that's leading him to both attack and finish at the best rate I've seen him do in a while at the rim. Right, in a long, long time. He looks good. He's playing the bully ball again. He's slashing. He's also getting to the line, knocking down the free throws, knocking down the 3-point spot ups. He flashed the mid-range game last night, which I'd like to see him do a little more. But yeah, he was good. There were some blunders, though. Of course, it wasn't a perfect game. He did have the 6 turnovers, and he committed some terrible fouls at the end. With 3:15 left, he tries to post up Levine. The ball gets loose. Chicago scores on the break. A minute later, he gets the offensive foul, trying to force contact on DeRozan from 3. And I believe there was another one at the end of the game there. So not great with the turnovers and the fouls. But overall, yeah, I'm happy to see him finally finding a rhythm. Some consistency, right? The first progress report of the year after last month, I think I handed him a C-. When we do our next one, which should be out within, before the new year, obviously. Maybe one of the next few episodes will have it out. It's probably going to be a lot higher than that. I'll tell you that. So I thought R.J. Barrett definitely deserved his 5th Bing Bong game ball last night. Julius Randle last night had a great game. Very good offensively. 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. A steal, 2 blocks, shot 11 of 22. 5 of 10 from 3. Good to see the jumper back. But 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Not good. And it was just the defense that bothered me. And I don't want to go through everybody here. But I do need to mention Quickley, because Quickley, I also think, deserves a Bing Bong game ball for what he did off the bench last night for the Knicks.
Bing Bang!
Immanuel Quickley scored 15 points last night, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 6 of 10 from the field, 60%. Yeah, he was probing the paint last night, some playmaking in there, rebounding, good defense. He's just very streaky, man. He is very, very streaky. He will be hot like he's been lately for a couple of games, and then he will be ice cold like he was before these couple of games. It's really odd, but that's who he's been since he's entered the league. The good thing is this hot streak he's been on has risen his percentages, his efficiency line on the season. It's nice to see him a few points over 40%. The 3-point shots finally getting back to respectability. Hopefully he can sustain this, but again, as I've said, I just think this is who he is. But we'll see. Overall, again, the free throws are a problem. Not to say the defense was good. The defense last night, obviously 118 points is not good. I thought the interior defense was very weak, especially when Hartenstein was out there alone. The guy, I'm just not a fan of him. He's real bad down there in the paint. I'm tired of seeing him give up points and not be a good enough rebounder. My hope is that when Obi comes back, Jericho Sims takes Hartenstein's minutes, and Hartenstein can be traded right along with Rose, Cam, and Evan. That's what I hope. But as we know, it might not go down that way. The 3-point defense was also pretty rough to watch, though. When you allow 45% shooting on 31 attempts, that's never a positive. The Knicks struggled getting over screens in time. They were late rotating up from drop coverage. Sometimes I'd like to see us give up the drive and fully commit to stopping the 3-point ball and just seeing what happens. Fuck it. Because we see a lot of these 50% closeouts where we're not fully committed to stopping the 3. We're half in, half out, trying to play it moderately. And it don't always work, right? Mitch was beat on the perimeter a number of times last night, playing too far down in the drop. We had Randle camping in the paint a number of times. And that always leads to a mess because then everybody's got to cover for him and rotate to the next closest assignment over before the swing pass lands. Brunson was beat backdoor ball watching. I didn't love the team defense last night. It wasn't effort, but rather just communication and IQ, right? But I'm not blaming Thibodeau here either. I just, I thought Thibodeau did what he could. Would some tweaks have been nice? Of course. But I'm not one of those fans anymore who's just going to jump right back onto the fire Thibs train. Some guys, I was reading some Instagram comments last night. just going right back on that ship the minute we face adversity. It's insane how quick a trigger we have before we go right back into irrational thought. I heard some fans last night, and you hear this shit all the time from the younger fans, complaining about running the starters into the ground and playing some of these guys too many minutes. Listen, I don't care how much of a boomer I sound like. Enough is enough already. I mean, let's go. RJ Barrett's 22. Brunson is 26. Grimes is 22. Randle is the oldest one out there, and he's 28. Cut the shit. Please, cut the shit. Welcome to pro basketball, where guys work hard and they work a lot. RJ's 33 in minutes per game. Randle is 43rd in minutes per game. You've got Lillard, Butler, DeRozan, Harden, LeBron, all over 30 years old, doing their thing with more minutes per game than both RJ and Julius. They simply lost last night's game, not because of Thibs for some reason, but they lost because they simply could not knock down their free throws. And that is all. Simple. It is called a free throw for a reason, but the Knicks could not convert. That is why they lost. I want to talk about one more thing before we wrap this up. When we get back, I've been hearing something in the rumor mill. We'll talk about that. Stay with us. Be right there. BD4 is located on many different platforms. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and if you do there, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review. You can listen to it on Spotify, but you can also watch the podcast on both Spotify and YouTube. BD4 is available on many other platforms as well. All you got to do is search it up. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and much more. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to episode 454 of the podcast. You know, I've been hearing some rumors about the Knicks trading, or in the rumors for wanting OG Anunoby. Not a bad idea. I would love it. You know, we do need another 3-and-D wing. It can't just be Grimes. Obviously, we're not going to play Cam anymore. But yeah, he gives you defense. Gives you scoring. He's a wing with a lot of length. 6'7" with an incredible 7'2" wingspan. Maybe that's where we include Cam. You know? But the entire league wants this guy. He's very valuable. And it's going to cost them lots. Can you do it without including RJ or Quickley? I don't know, man. You're going to have to give up a haul. At least 2 first-round picks, maybe 3. And then maybe Obi, Cam, and IQ. But I'm thinking they're going to want more. Like, they might even ask for RJ. I don't know. We're going to have to see what the price is. You know, I don't think, what's his name, Masai Ujiri? I don't know if he's going to just let anybody take him. Yeah, he's going to cost a lot. He's a good, valuable player. Now, I don't want Jay Crowder. I've heard those rumors too. Yuck. If we're getting something, I want talent. You know, I don't want another Lance Thomas type. Taj Gibson. I'm kind of done with that. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Get to our trivia. All right, so for episode 454 of the podcast, our NYY-NYK-MMA trivia question of the day is, which former Knick used to yell the iconic "Ball Don't Lie" phrase? And what year did he play for New York? All right, so it's a two-parter. Which former Knick used to yell the iconic "Ball Don't Lie" phrase? And what year did he play for New York? All right, one final time. Which former Knick used to yell the iconic "Ball Don't Lie" phrase? And what year did he play for New York? Let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. Guys, that is it. That's it. The episode's over. I appreciate you for stopping by. The Knicks lose again. Hopefully they can halt this losing streak tomorrow and get back on the win track, but it's going to be tough for Philly. We'll see. Thanks. Later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.